Tokyo Ghoul is a series that not even 10 years ago was everywhere. With the first season being released on July 4th, 2014, there was no corner of the internet you could find that would let you escape its intense stranglehold on edgy anime fans. YouTube, Tumblr, Vine, iFunny, all flooded with edits, AMVs, what 2014 anime fans called a meme. It was just everywhere. And when the second season, known as Tokyo Ghoul Re, came out the following year on July 9th, 2015, it left a huge impact on anime fans in the broader anime community, fully solidifying itself as one of the most popular animes of that time. It wasn't until a couple years later in 2018 when the continuation of the series, Tokyo Ghoul Re, was finally animated when people stopped to think, wait a minute, who are these people? As the season continued to air and some of these questions weren't being answered, the more casual fans of the series who may have only watched the first 2 seasons of the anime began to realize the second season of the anime, one of the most influential and memorable seasons of anime, the season that not only kept the fan base strong until the continuation of the anime, but also had some of the most iconic moments and scenes that would also get used in almost every edit or AMV, wasn't even canon. For those who haven't read the manga but have watched the anime, that probably makes a lot of things make sense. Like Hide showing back up with his face messed up, or those images of Kaneki with Hinami, Banjo, and Tsukiyama. Or, you know, Haise? So let's go over a couple things that actually happened in the Tokyo Ghoul story that we didn't see in Route A. The first one being, Kaneki didn't join Aogiri Tree. Now, this was kind of a big moment in Route A, especially for the development of Kaneki and Toka's relationship. But in the manga, Kaneki didn't join Aogiri Tree, but rather he made up his own group made up of Hinami, Tsukiyama, Banjo, and some others. Knowing this explains why in Tokyo Ghoul Re, there are flashes of this group and why Tsukiyama is as distraught over Kaneki now being Haise. Because without Tsukiyama being an integral part to Kaneki's group, his character motivation feels a bit off. With that piece missing, it feels more like he is horrendously desperate for an afternoon lunch, rather than genuinely distraught that a good friend and person he respected is now seemingly gone. In fairness, it is hinted at and alluded to in the anime that is why he feels the way he does, but if you don't pick up on it, it can definitely give you a weird feeling. In all honesty, this difference, while huge and provides a lot of insight on different characters and their motivations, they were able to somewhat skirt around it. With Kaneki joining Aogiri Tree, they were still able to develop him close enough to his manga counterpart. And with Hinami helping out at times and Tsukiyama being Tsukiyama, they were able to at least give some semblance of them being tight-knit in how they are in the manga. Obviously not one for one, but enough to where it is believable. So while yes, it is a big difference, it's not enough to really cause too much confusion in the overall narrative. That's until Rize shows up again. In the anime, this doesn't happen. There is no semblance of this at all. So imagine my reaction when, after watching the anime, I started reading the manga and I got to chapter 115 and saw her. My reaction was probably close to Kaneki's in chapters 116. Because, in simple terms, what the f? In context of the manga, it makes sense, but going from the anime to the manga and seeing this left me so confused. Because I'm not sure if it was just me, but I feel like this is kind of important. I knew there would be differences here and there, like the one we just discussed, because the anime had to shorten things or cut certain things out. But I was under the impression it wouldn't stray too far. Apparently not, because I did not expect this at all. How could I? The closest thing we got was the twins with Rize's Kagane to be like, wink wink, how did they get those? But this is something else entirely. The biggest difference, however, is the ending. The ending of Tokyo Ghoul Route A, canon or not, is iconic. The scene of Kaneki carrying Hide's body as you see all the death and destruction that surrounds the battlefield is a heavy scene that, accompanied by the music, builds for a very somber and tragic tone as Kaneki reaches the CCG. A tone reminiscent to the overall idea of Kaneki as a character who describes how, if his life was a story, it would be a tragedy. This isn't how the manga ends. As tragic as the anime's ending is, it's almost a better ending to that of the manga, because Tokyo Ghoul ends with the death of Kaneki. Hide sacrificing himself to give Kaneki the strength to fight against Arima, only for Kaneki to find himself powerless against the overwhelming force that is the White Reaper. There is no reflection, there is no reminiscing, there is no going home. Well, it doesn't entirely end there, because there's a couple chapters after, but I think you get the point. Putting all that aside, the Tokyo Ghoul anime does catch a lot of flack for what I just pointed out. It doesn't hold itself very true to the manga. So when you have a season 1 that's mostly canon, a season 2 that has some canon plot points, but then you have a season 3 and 4 try to be as one for one as they can, despite the prior 2 seasons not covering points vital to understanding the later elements of the story that takes place in seasons 3 and 4, people aren't going to be too happy and be mostly confused about what's happening. On a more personal note, I like the anime. People who read Tokyo Ghoul typically end up not liking the anime because of how drastically different aspects like the pacing or storytelling are compared to the manga. I watched the anime first, then read the manga. When I first watched it, I just made my own reasoning as to why certain things in the story happen, and then when reading the manga and fully understanding why certain events happen, I was able to appreciate the different approach the anime had. It's almost in a weird way like filler. Of course, filler isn't going to be as good as the original story, but if you really like the original story, sometimes you just want more of it. So after reading the manga, I'm able to watch Route A and view it as a what if while still filling in the missing story elements. Do I prefer the manga? Well, yeah, it's really fucking good. But even as rough or confusing as the anime can be at times, I still enjoyed it. It also allowed me to experience the same story twice, both in a completely unique way. So I'm curious if anyone else feels that same way, and if you haven't already, you should definitely check out Tokyo Ghoul's anime and its manga. Anyways, despite Tokyo Ghoul ending over 4 years ago, it still found a way to make its way back into the hearts of anime fans everywhere. But maybe not for the reason you initially think. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. If you want to help support me in my videos, check out my Patreon. I got cool stuff over there and it would really mean a lot, but I appreciate you being here watching this right now. Also, check out my Twitter to keep up with whatever I got going on. Also, I live stream both on this channel and my Twitch channel pretty frequently, so if you see me live, hop in chat, say hi, I would love to have you. But yeah, I love Tokyo Ghoul, genuinely one of my favorite anime and manga series. Even though I enjoyed the anime, I hope that someday it can get a remake, because as I pointed out, there's a lot of things missing. But mainly, I remember wanting to read the manga because of those panels of Mob Boss Kaneki. I won't show more, but those panels went so hard, I just had to read it. So hopefully those parts can get animated one day. Also, something I didn't get to mention too much is the actual art in the manga. The art is absolutely beautiful, and it really conveys the emotions of the scenes very well, and something very specific I liked is the fact that the character designs were very consistent. Like, no matter what a character is wearing or how their hair was, you could tell who it is. But yeah, it's an amazing series, and I cannot recommend it enough. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, watch the anime, read the manga. Please read the manga, it's really good and the art is fantastic. I'll see you in the next one.